Hey guys, we'll do this on the video. In the video, we will be reacting to things from the 90s that don't exist anymore. And a lot of these things probably will make me feel old because I was born in 2002. So some of these things probably won't exist anymore by the time I was born, but some of them I probably will remember. So just remember that I probably will feel old in this. So be lucky. Let's get into this.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 things from the 90s that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I know I need a haircut.
Connected with everyone in my life. It's really easy to stay in touch.
For this list, we're looking at staples from the decade that either no longer exist or are significantly rarer than they used to be. If there's a nostalgic 90s relic we forgot, remind us in the comments, dude. Number 20, dial-up modems.
On your mark, get set. We're riding on the internet, cyberspace, set free. Hello, virtual reality.
Internet access has come a long way in the decade since the 90s. These days, wireless internet, broadband, and LAN cables provide fast and easily accessible internet for billions. But back in the day, the internet could only be accessed through phone lines. Dial-up modems took up an entire phone line at home. While a few remote or rural areas are still using dial-up modems today, the rest of us will never have to hear that awful dial-up screeching again. Except in our nightmares and in nostalgic internet videos like this one.
Oh, that. Hate that sound.
19, Butterfinger BBs. There are plenty of discontinued candy products from the 90s. One of the most beloved are Butterfinger BBs. These bite-sized balls of Butterfingers were easy to pop in your mouth and still maintained the full-size candy bar's unique texture and peanut buttery flavor. Plus, they were advertised by Bart Simpson.
Yeah, well, Bardo says eat my shorts.
Unfortunately, despite the campaign slogan warning that nobody better lay a finger on our Butterfinger, the BBs were discontinued in 2006.
I don't remember that. I was 3,
Although no
4.
official explanation has been released, some have theorized that the BB's chocolate coating, which melted easily, may have been responsible. While a similar, smaller Butterfinger version was released called Butterfinger Bites, they never attained the same popularity. Ay caramba.
See you later, homeboy.
Number 18, Encarta Encyclopedia.
You are a learner, questioning the world
Maybe.
before you. New Encarta World Atlas from Microsoft.
During the 90s, the internet was not the trusted source of information it is, well, can be today. Online encyclopedias were still in their infancy. Before the rise of Wikipedia, there was another computer-based encyclopedia called Encarta, launched in 1993 and originally packaged in DVD form. This annually updated program contained thousands of informative articles on a wide variety of topics. Not only did Encarta include text, there were also videos, pictures, and even trivia games.
Over 900 exciting enhancements to articles that feature guest essays, historical documents, magazine and newspaper stories from the people who were there.
However, naturally, the rise of online encyclopedias ultimately led to
Stupid ad.
I was calling to get more info.
Encarta's downfall, and Microsoft ceased its publishing in 2009. Number 17, mini disc players. During the 90s, audio formats were still very much a competition. One often forgotten contender is the mini disc. Published by Sony, these miniature discs were envisioned as the next big thing to replace cassette tapes.
I remember seeing them, but I've never used one.
However, despite proving popular in Sony's native Japan, MD players couldn't find success at a global scale. Record labels didn't take to the format quickly, leaving few albums available initially. Plus, blank MDs were twice as expensive as blank CDs. By the time MP3 players became available, mini discs were on their way out, although niche markets kept them in circulation until 2013.
And it's as portable as you are. The Sony Mini Disc, the future of tape.
Number 16, Zima. The 90s saw a trend of clear drinks, and alcoholic beverages were no exception. Coors got in on the trend and created Zima in 1994, a clear malt beverage intended as an alternative to beer.
What if there wasn't any beer? Sorry, guys. Never heard of it.
Zima's good.
While the beer found more success among young women, Coors did their best to market it towards a male consumer base. In the end, most didn't especially enjoy the taste, and the product began disappearing from shelves, at least in the West. Coors discontinued Zima in North America in 2008, but the beverage remained popular in Japan until 2021.
I had a Zima once. I don't get it.
Number 15. Pogs. Playground games come and go. During the early 90s, the biggest one was easily milk caps or Pogs.
They're pogs. They're milk caps. They're pogs. It's a game. You stack them, and then you rack them.
What?
Players would stack cardboard discs with pictures printed on them. Anything from cartoons to sports logos. Then another larger disc, called a slammer, was used to knock down as many Pogs as possible. Because each player would often keep the Pogs
Never heard of it.
It was viewed by many schools as a form of gambling, leading to widespread bans. When kids can't play something at school, it tends to kill the popularity pretty quickly. While they're technically still around and there are variants on the game worldwide, Pog's popularity is far from what it used to be. Number 14, CRT computer monitors.
No.
Before and during
Shut
the 90s,
up.
most screens were created using CRT, or cathode ray tube technology. Naturally, computer screens were no exception. These big, bulky monitors sat on our desks and are how many of us first experienced computing. But the last few decades have seen the rise of LCD, OLED, and plasma monitors, which are cheaper and generally have larger screens than CRT monitors. Some people,
remember them.
particularly computer gamers, still prefer CRTs because they don't have as much input lag and can display images in multiple resolutions more easily. In general, though, these guys have been mostly phased out. Number 13, gaming magazines. Video games were still considered a niche industry in the 90s, so they weren't mainstream.
Oh yeah, I've seen them
covered
too before.
extensively on TV or
when I was
the still
younger.
newfangled internet.
It was all about running out to the mailbox.
I think I actually had
that
some
new
too.
issue of that video game magazine.
Enter gaming magazines. If you were a 90s gamer, chances are you were subscribed to one or more gaming magazines. Electronic Gaming Monthly, Nintendo Power, Computer Gaming World, Tips and Tricks. These publications gave gamers detailed articles on upcoming games, walkthroughs, cheat codes, and reviews.
I think I had one, but never actually had
reader
any of the
interaction
games.
from major publications. Tragically, most gaming magazines ceased publication
Because
as
I
the
didn't
rise
become
of
a gamer
internet
until I was
journalism made
in
the
my
old
teens.
monthly issue model
Early
obsolete.
teens.
Why wait to read about
Like
it in a magazine
13,
when it's already
14.
online? Number 12, floppy disks. Movable computer storage in the 90s used to take the form of small
Might have been
3.5-inch floppy disks.
It was around that
the
time frame.
name is a bit misleading for those disks, which, unlike the disks of the 80s, weren't floppy at all. When you needed to save or move information between computers, floppy disks were everyone's go-to. You just popped them into the fabled A drive and off you went. They were so widely used that the save icon in most programs is still the floppy disk to this day. But as technology progressed and storage capacity and needs expanded beyond a few hundred kilobytes, floppy disks are no longer in wide circulation. But if you're missing them, they're still sometimes used for emergency booting in older systems and in other industries like aeronautics. Number 11, appointment TV. Once upon a time, we scheduled our lives around what was on TV. This was because if you didn't see a show or a sporting event when it aired, you didn't see it at all. Each time an episode aired, everyone was talking about it the next day. And sure, sometimes you could tape a show and watch it later, but sometimes working VCRs was more art than science. Appointment television was the norm, and so networks did big ratings when a show hit it big.
All your favorites and all new must-see shows!
Of course, streaming platforms now make it easy to binge shows or watch them at your own pace. While some streaming series do release episodes weekly and the concept is making something of a comeback, appointment TV isn't mainstream again quite yet.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Number 10, Y2K panic.
Doug, everyone here is waiting for the same thing, the stroke of midnight.
We all know that the human race and planet Earth are not going to be around forever. But with the new millennium on the horizon, many believed the year 2000 was going to initiate the collapse of society.
Now, the federal government is comparing Y2K to a huge natural disaster, like an earthquake, a hurricane, or a tornado that disrupts people's lives for days, weeks, or maybe even months.
In the 90s, several computer experts warned that because many computer systems represented years using only the last two digits, computers would mix up 1900 and 2000. This led some folks to buy up food and supplies to tide them through an imminent apocalypse. But as it turned out, the world stepped into the new millennium with minimal issues.
It hit midnight and nothing happened. It was like crickets in the newsroom.
While we have dealt with a few other end-of-the-world fears afterwards, like 2012, none quite reached the same level of paranoia.
The end of the world is coming. Now, come on, get in your radiation suits.
Peter, we are not missing a once-in-a-lifetime event because of some wacko
Thousands of people are
Stupid
switching
ad.
to Spectrum Internet.
Some wacko doomsday theory.
Okay.
Number 9. The Windows 95 3D Maze. Screensavers aren't all that common anymore now that most of our devices have a sleep function to conserve power. In the 90s, however, there was one screensaver you'd see in many homes. The Windows 95 3D Maze. Here, you're basically watching your computer play a video game as it automatically takes left turns until finding the smiley face, thus resetting and generating a whole new maze. There was something really mesmerizing about it between the artificial intelligence and guessing where the face might end up. Honestly, why hasn't Microsoft made a full-fledged game out of this? Number 8. The Delia's Catalog. If you weren't sure what to wear for the girls' night or the high school dance, you probably referred to this mail-in catalog of fashion. Founded in 1993, Delia's was the go-to catalog for teens who wanted to wear the latest clothes and fashion trends. Unfortunately, Delia's would be buried by competitors, in addition to being spun off and acquired on a few occasions as time went on. By the end of 2014, Delia's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and liquidated all of its stores.
I declare bankruptcy!
While it tried to bounce back as an online-only store in 2015, this venture was a complete failure. Now, you can only get their clothing through the Dolls Kill brand. Number 7. Orbitz. Yes, it's the magical BD beverage that is featured on many a Watch Mojo list in recent years. Is it a bug? Did someone mistake your beer for an empty and put their cigarette butt in there? With Orbitz, there was no mistake. This obscure, non-carbonated drink was manufactured with a small variety of flavors to quench your thirst and hunger.
Never heard of that one.
Raspberry citrus to vanilla orange, the beads and beverage made for a unique type of drink. Alas, Orbitz would live a seriously short life because of its terrible commercial performance. Given the presence of gellan gum and high sugar, one can hazard a guess at why folks weren't picking these up off the shelves, especially when seeing the edible orbs inside. Number 6. The iMac G3.
You gotta see this thing in person, but I'll do the best I can with video.
Apple's Mac computers have come a long way. Today, design is all about improving battery life, making everything as thin as possible, and getting berated about updating iTunes even if we don't use it. But in the late 90s, a common Mac computer looked about as chunky as a CRT television set.
The faster, sleeker, quieter, redesigned, and even easier to use iMac.
Wow.
The teal-colored Macs with their translucent Bondi blue shells were especially a huge success for Apple. But looking back, these desktop computers were also incredibly hefty and awkwardly shaped. That's because it wasn't just a monitor. This was the computer itself.
Heated leather seats sold separately.
Just seeing pictures of these makes us glad schools are using laptops instead. Number 5. PB Crisps. Yeah, we gotta squeeze another food product in here, and this is another snack that's popped up on our lists before. PB Crisps was a special kind of sweet treat from Planters, consisting of peanut-shaped cookies filled with peanut butter inside.
Inside the
Never heard of that one either. Hey, I feel young.
And
I only know a few of
in addition
these.
to peanut butter, you could buy bags of the cookies that were also filled with chocolate or strawberry.
But the
Sadly,
videos are only
these
like...
snacks were not around for long due to low demand, and have become a relic of the mid-90s. To this day,
See, if
there
I'm doing
is
this.
still a group of dedicated fans clamoring for the product's return, even going as far as to make a website dedicated to the cause.
Wheels for Wishes has received
Check it out.
To make a website dedicated
Wish
to the
I can
cause.
afford
Number
the
4,
pain.
AIM, also known as AOL Instant Messenger.
Just fire up that machine and off you go.
AOL.
You got mail.
It's been a hot minute since we heard anything remotely relevant to AOL. While AOL currently exists and was acquired by Verizon in 2015, AIM ceased operations in December 2017.
AOL's announcement said simply, goodbye.
To do. This service was introduced way back in 1997.
Goodbye!
It became the leading messaging service in North America for roughly a decade.
Wherever I go, I stay connected with everyone in my life. It's really easy to stay in touch.
But as tech giants like Google and Facebook started taking over, AIM lost all purpose.
I remain confused. Empty. What am I evolving into? What is my purpose? I must know! Tell me!
The two companies had better services and better security. Slowly but surely, AIM would begin shutting down features one by one, starting in 2007, before disappearing completely a decade later.
Having failed to keep up with ever-evolving technology, we're forced to say TTFN to the iconic service and a simpler time. We can only hope will BRB.
My mom's email is still AOL.com. Yeah.
URL. Number 3, Netscape Navigator.
She was 18 years old. She doesn't even know what Netscape is.
These days, we have dozens of web browsers vying for our attention, from Google Chrome to Mozilla Firefox to Safari to DuckDuckGo. We remember way back when the internet was a baby that there was only one browser to use, Netscape Navigator. This browser was created in 1994 and for a short time went uncontested in the industry.
Well, what about all those other low-cost guys like...
Don't you want an ISP that's fast, safer, reliable, and more secure?
What happened to cause such decline? Well, Internet Explorer happened. Then Chrome, Firefox, Safari, all of them. Netscape would receive its final update in 2007 before ceasing support and development the year after.
Everything has to change faster, obviously. You know, look at Netscape. It was born and died. I don't want to use the word died, they wouldn't like that word, but it basically was born and overtaken within 4 years. That's pretty fast.
Number 2, the Discman. Like Walkmans in the 80s, Discmans became a crucial part of our lives. There just wasn't anything like going on a walk or exercising while jamming out to the newest albums. Besides radios, this was pretty much the way to listen to music. Of course, as we find new ways to store data, we also kill off part of a medium. Nowadays, we can just open Spotify on our phones and jam to anything we desire without having to eject a CD and holster something chunky on our waist. Still, there is something tactile to be missed here.
Your ears will tell you it's not only what you play, it's what you play it on.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, wow. Video rental stores.
Oh my word.
Oh!
I've been in some.
Jesus, this place is back tonight, man.
Those who grew up in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s fondly look back on video rental stores. While the very first such stores opened in the late 70s, it was in the 90s that bigger brands like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster boomed in demand. For some families, weekly trips to these stores would become a tradition as new movies made their way to the shelves and movie buffs sought out hidden gems.
We had Family Video was in my area. I don't think we'd ever had really a Blockbuster,
This industry would decline, however, as Netflix and streaming services became more and more prominent. Hollywood Video would go defunct in 2010, while Blockbuster enjoys a few thousand customers through its last and only store, located in Bend, Oregon.
When you see them all next to each other, it's kind of makes it easier, but with on Netflix, you only see the title, and that's all. We have to scroll through it, and it takes a while to get through all of the movies.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other...
Wow, that... Actually, I didn't know that of them, which is awesome because I did not want to feel old. So, well guys, that would be it for the video. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and don't forget to like. And I guess I will see you guys on next time. Goodbye.